These are only words, these are only words, these are only words, these are flying, roaring hours compile into many years of wild horror bliss. I am chaos. We are society's dogs. Let the chaos burn. These are only words. These are only words. These are only words. These are wind, thunder, fire, moonlight, laughter, poetry, earth, star song, dancing. I cling like a vine to the ivory tower, afraid of the fall. Biting heart in half, squelch as meat leaves behind bones. Dismember old loves. Un motorcito arranca y descansa dentro de mi ser. Away, I fly home. Zillions of years old and young, loving and dying. Loving Father Man, still trying to reconcile, always on the hunt. These are only words, these are only words, these are only words, these are. One small room full of books, Etta James, legs, street sounds, bars on my window. Buses roar past me, big burly steel beasts. I want to pet them sometimes. Mothers' voices coo at honking cars and barking dogs. It's all one song. These are only words. These are only words. These are only words. These are. These are the shadows on the blankets I nailed up. Curtains cost a lot. Brown hair, brown eyes, brown. Skin, brown, 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 white, brown, all over except inside. Red inside, all red. Red blood, red mouth, red diaper. Red stars on my heart. Gender, a woman. Skin, just another white girl. Soul, pure enigma. Me, I never chose to be a rabble-rouser. It's in my DNA. These are only words, these are only words, these are only words, these are songbird tied up tight, not for your pleasure, but mine. The knots keep secrets. Split like summer fruit, the gaping fissure vast, bleeding, you'll just waste me. A sheriff's daughter, buried concubine, awake, now reclaiming her power. Gum, freckled sidewalk, our shadows walk together, our woven hands swing. I am a tree with corazón en su pueblo. Where's Tapatio? These are only words, these are only words, these are only words, these are. On the cuff of his shirt fills the body of a pointy hat outlaw, barrio poet, organizer who rents comedy VHS cassettes, no longer in one piece. Patched up and mended, living without fear. Suppressed spectrum light, serving purpose taking flight, emancipated. Expression darkness, conquered by light igniting fire, love, harmony. Let me hold your bliss. Somewhere in my hallowed chest to wake my heart's beat. Simply horrified. Peter Pan on a bar stool, don't want to grow up. Ancient memory. Evolutionary dream, I awake to her. I am no one here. And in this world I am but an echo of loss. Gum, freckled sidewalk, our shadows walk together, our woven hands swing. These are only words, these are only words, these are only words, these are drums syncopated, guitar strings strummed and peeled back, vocal harmony, a tiny petal, a luscious vine intertwined, a torrent nurtures, swaying palms, branch touch, sidewalks, cracks are skipped over, mother yells, come home. A soul traveling, pedestrian in nature, laden thoughts ignored. These are only words. These are only words. These are only words. These are bodies filled with words. Inhale for capacity. Graffiti beacons. City pavement beat heaven-bound, you flitter. A smile lifts my feet. These are only words, these are only words, these are only words, these are tenderest tenders, in scented sheets remember, silhouettes render, anon, anew, morn, nicotine, sun, and caffeine, stare top coffee shop, adversity, bloom. Bruises and scars your petals, unfurl your beauty. Bin 0101415 to 323, a Morse code, end, stop. Reverential day, to praise all that is holy. Wood-limbed Mercury, your hardship-stained glass will I tenderly shine through. Mastering our love, you are my haiku. Like a hurricane in fall, tearing leaves from trees. Black top explosions, paws curled in dark unison, love cured in sulfur. Flesh bound by promise, heart weathered by gale and storm, unions thornful bliss. Burly pelt of fur, sharing licks smooth, soft, and clean, care in ritual. Cinematic grain, silent scratches of time past, sepia, blue, blonde, you. These are only words. These are only words. These are only words. These are 100 lost words. Gathering in my tongue's folds, I spoke with my eyes. You, vine and wire, me trestling my bone and frame the sky is for you. The struck ground singing, the clap of my foot coughing, sun and dust and gone. I must remember, you are not my enemy. I need not fear you. My tongue tastes silence. It is heavier than hate, more crippling than truth. You know, he replies. I wrote a whole book for you. I wish you had read it. I am cloud blossom, Tewa sunrise, mom's blue eyes, pot shards and punk rock, the moment of craft. A spider hunts soft shadows, circling powder moths. These are only words. These are only words. These are only words. These are the spaces between perception and inception where blood loves water. The hum of sinew, the stretching of hide and bone, buffalo, blood song, a lover's night scream, swimming watermelon seeds, summer froglets sing, mud woman earth hides in dirt behind chayote vines, and rose promises, starry-eyed and free, lost in spaces in between, not but a mirror. Face meets the mirror. I am but an illusion, only goddess knows. I am unstrummed strings. These broken teeth are trophies, dust and sound all one. I am the villain, but only in your story, a hero in mine. These are only words. These are only words. These are only words. These are burning scorched feathers, spiral to land for a quick rest, rises up in flame, a small pile of stones. Above the one house of air, with water below, Sergio, who died. Shot between the two false lines, throwing stones for play, a movement. Father, abducted with guns, paper, threats and the towering war. These are only words. These are only words. These are only words. These are the station on First and Soto, hot dog stand, bus stop, magic, transit. I don't know. I don't. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't. White woman with a heavy skin below. Just one more faulty promise. These are only words. These are only words. These are only words. These are the gap between a music note, flower petals, fingers, lips, and tongues. In Arizona, they always ask who we are. All the papers lie. These are only words. These are only words. These are only words. These are First Street Bridge kiss. Markers in the dark, one more drink and a long walk a firecracker gunshot somewhere in the middle of the night sky. These are only words, these are only words, these are only words, these are wild babies in search of a blessed homeland suckling on air. A 2-hour bus ride to the hilltop dream place, be invisible. A waiting lover, scribbling a destiny, scratching words into the sand. A revolution in skin and bones without a building, home, or photograph. Oscar Grant, a man, with a radiant dream pushed onto his belly. These are only words. These are only words. These are only words. These are border walls run through the spine, holding fast to one another. Deep breath. Call for elotes among wandering rockers, bus waiters, and sun. Sirens cut into thick air. Freeway locks the door behind a generation. 8 women waiting. With me on the platform, our destinations askew. They train me to serve the wealthy, decorate the walls, but don't make noise. Colonizer and colonized, a fractured bone houses regret, a dead rabbit lies on Soto. Too early to cry for the loss. Followed home one night. Create a calculated plan to avoid rape. These are only words. These are only words. These are only words. These are a contradiction designed by history and funerals for land. Another murder of helicopters waits for the sacred stillness to shift. I am a poem, swept into the river. We used to be lovers, pinned together here. I am your reflection. One more image we make. This classroom divides my tongue into dual speech. I cannot forget. Sleepy-eyed I sit. Last car always, so the light shrinks me to nothing. Under purple trees he cuts a cantaloupe. She calls her dog Whiskey. State Street piano scales kiss a distant trumpet. Atmosphere rhythms. These are only words, these are only words, these are only words, these are 5 cop cars within a 3-block walk. No one is happy under thumbs. First day of summer. Bike ride with Papa, French fries, Coca-Cola smile. These are only words, these are only words, these are only words, these are. Identity splits. Peel. Cover, envelop, die. We are only stones in the sand.